Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. My name is Ollie, and here on the Minted Millennials channel, we focus on all things personal finance and investing to help you on your journey to financial freedom. In today's video, we're going to discuss whether you should pay off debt or invest first. I hope you enjoy this video. In order to understand whether you should be looking to pay off your debt first or not, we need to get a handle as to what type of debt it is that you currently have. There is actually such thing as good debt and bad debt. Bad debt, or also known as consumer debt, are things like credit cards, personal loans, and car loans. Bad debt is typically for smallish amounts of money, but with extremely high interest rates. Credit cards are now between 13 and 20%. With your bad debt, you know what your interest rate is, and therefore paying this off will actually give you a fixed rate of return. That is, you're not going to have to pay that amount of interest each month if you no longer have that debt. By clearing up this bad debt, you'll then also have extra funds available to you which you didn't previously have, because you'd have been using that money to pay off the interest. Now that's not there, you have whatever you are paying on interest available as surplus funds. If you struggle to manage your cash flow or you have a sporadic pay cycle, then you should definitely look at clearing down your bad debt before you consider investing. The only caveat to this in regards to bad debt and credit cards is if you're able to manage your cash flow and you pay off your debt in full each month, then by all means keep the credit cards, rack up the points so you can get some free flights or hotel stays. But the moment you're no longer able to clear your credit cards off, you need to get rid of that bad debt so that it doesn't get you into a deeper hole than if you didn't have the card in the first place. Good debt is often regarded as something that you've taken a loan out for that will provide you value in the future. Common examples of this are a mortgage or a student loan. A mortgage provides you value by putting a roof over your head, and it provides you the opportunity for an increase in equity in your home if the property market increases. Likewise, a student loan provides value in that it helps you get a degree that in the future should enable you to become more employable or get a higher paying job. Good debt generally tends to be for larger amounts of money, but also carries a much lower rate of interest. Mortgage rates are around about 3 to 4% currently, and your student loans in Australia are indexed at the inflation rate of around about 2%. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, the average annualized rate of return for the S&P 500 is 10%. So you might be thinking, if I invest all my money into the stock market, get a 10% rate of return there, cash out, pay off my 4% interest rate on my loan, and then pocket the other 6% for profit. It's not quite that simple. As I mentioned, that rate of return is only an average. It's not guaranteed. The only way you can guarantee return rates in investing is if you invest in bonds or term deposits, but these give significantly lower return rates of around about 1% currently. While the maths suggests it could be a better option to invest your money in the stock market first rather than paying off your debt, there is a significant risk involved in doing so. And that's where the psychology of the investor comes into play. If you're enjoying this video so far and you're getting some value out of it, please take a moment to hit that like button, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Any support you can give this channel is really appreciated. There are two things that will dictate whether you should pay off your debt first or whether you should invest first. The first one is your ability to meet your monthly repayments on that debt. So if you currently have a monthly mortgage repayment that you're unable to meet, then you should definitely look at paying down that debt first before even considering to invest. However, if you're comfortably meeting that mortgage repayment, then it's a potential that you might want to invest. The other key factor is the risk profile of the investor. Generally, a more risk-tolerant investor is going to choose the option to invest first rather than pay off their debt. That's because they can see the potential for a big gain from their investment and they're happy to weather the risk that's involved. Conversely, a more risk-adverse investor is likely to take the debt option first because they can see a way of locking in a rate of return and reducing their risk significantly. Now, bear in mind, there is no right or wrong option here. It all just comes down to the individual and their tolerance for risk. If you're trying to figure out what risk profile you might be as an investor, ask yourself, if your portfolio halved overnight, would you be freaking out about it? Or would you just be able to brush it off, carry on, and not worry? Obviously, if you're freaking out about it, or you're losing sleep, or it's causing you some stress, then you'd be a more risk-adverse investor and should look at the debt repayment option first. If you just brush it off, it doesn't bother you, you have no issues whatsoever, then you're a more risk-tolerant investor, and you should consider potentially going into investing first as an option. The most important thing though here in deciding whether you should pay off your debt first or if you should be investing first is that this process should be eliminating stress from your life. So that's why it's really important to understand which risk profile you are, because the last thing you'd want is to be a risk-adverse investor, have all your money in the stock market, and it causes you more stress or anxiety. So to sum up, if you have bad debt, you should definitely look at paying that off first before you look to invest. If you have good debt and you're not able to cover the payments on that, then you should definitely look at paying off the debt first. However, if you have good debt and you're able to cover your monthly repayments, then you need to consider your risk profile as the investor. If you think you're a risk-adverse investor, then again, you should look at paying off the debt first, lock in those gains, live a happy and stress-free life. And if you love to live on the wild side and you're a risk-tolerant investor, then you should consider looking at the investing option and trying your luck at getting a better return and pocketing some profit. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you got some value out of it, and if you did, please feel free to share with family and friends. I look forward to making more content like this for you in the future. See you next time.